Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Elation Professional. So we're back for our second coffee break session with you. And again, we're live from our headquarters here in the Netherlands. So today we're going to look at two of our most fun and creative LED fixtures, the Rayzor 760 and its IP-rated sister product, the Proteus Rayzor 760. So here's a little video to help us introduce the fixtures for you. So thanks for joining us. My name is Alistair. I work in technical sales.
My name is Frederik. I work in the sales department here in the Netherlands as well.
So we hope some of you are returning to watch again after our first live stream a couple of weeks ago where we looked at the Artiste series. But of course we offer a warm welcome to anyone new joining us today for this Rayzor 760 presentation. So of course we'd like this to be an interactive experience with you today, so please feel free to add any questions or comments down below, and at the end of today's presentation we will work together to answer them for you. Or of course if you already own the Rayzors, please share any tips, tricks, feedback that you may have. I'm sure everyone would love to see it.
And of course, the reason why we are here is again some coffee, so we brought our coffee mugs as well today. So leave us a comment. Whatever you are drinking today, if it's a tea or a coffee or whatever you join or enjoy in the morning, maybe some other drinks you're enjoying already at that time. And of course, leave us a comment where you're watching us. It might be somewhere out on the streets, in your office, wherever you are. Leave us a comment where you're watching us. And just have some cookies with us as well. We have today our favorite cookies here. So what do you like to eat for, let's say, an early breakfast? We have 11 o'clock here in the Netherlands. What time is it at your place? Where are you watching us? Leave us a little bit of comments below here and enjoy the next coming minutes.
So, the Rayzor 760 series. So these are powerful wash effects fixtures. So they're fully capable of mid-air beams right through to wide stage washes. But also they have full pixel control, they have innovative effects, they have continuous pan and tilt, and also a huge zoom range. So these fixtures really offer unlimited creativity. So we're going to look at the features in depth, but in the meantime, here's a short video to introduce them for you. What a great video. So the fixture has an amazing zoom range of 5 to 77 degrees. So this immediately allows you to start seeing both the wash and the beam capability. But if we go back to the narrowest zoom, we can also activate what we call a zoom overdrive. So this is a feature we use in a small number of our fixtures at Elation. So it basically offers you a little bit of an extra narrow zoom that pushes the projected field out of its optimum level. So we do this in the case of the Rayzor to really get an incredible, almost parallel beam. So let's just have a quick look at that. So you can see it just tightens it up a little bit more. And back again, and overdrive one more time.
And that gives the feature a little bit of an extra look depending on what your design should look like. So the ones of you who like to do a little bit of extra with this fixture have the possibility to use it with the zoom override.
Exactly, so it's really for mid-air and beam use of the fixture. Not everyone will actually want to use it, but it's there if you do.
And of course, the wide zoom range of the Proteus Rayzor 760 and the Rayzor 760 allows you to use them even on the biggest and widest stages, but also in a very small environment like a mid-size or small stage, which you have, for example, in schools or in smaller theaters.
Okay, so let's start looking at the LEDs themselves. So the building block of the Rayzor 760's creativity is made up of two different sets or arrays of LEDs, but each of these sets give you full pixel control. So these arrays of LEDs can be used completely independently, but really the stunning, eye-catching looks come from using them together for layers of creativity. So the main output is provided by these 7 RGBW cells that already look stunning with their large, oversized lenses. So if we look at a close-up of the fixture, of course it can all start with just a single pixel. And then, of course, you can add in various further pixels to start building some intensity chases, some patterns. And, of course, with a powerful output of 8,500 lumens and that RGBW array, the fixture really offers an intense color palette. So let's have a look at some colors.
And if you picture the situation, you're on the stage and you want to create a look of an LED bar, the 3 center LEDs allow you to do so. And the pixel mapping really gives you the flexibility to use it as a wash fixture, but also as an effects fixture, which can be just a pan and tilt bar, selecting the right LED cells.
Okay, so let's have a look at the rather vibrant and powerful red, green and blue that the fixture gives us. And of course you can get others out of it. I particularly like this nice deep orange, almost moving towards an amber. And you also get a nice magenta, a nice cyan. And of course there is a color macro channel within the fixture as well, so you can get really nice lavenders, purples, etc. already made for you, just to make things a little quicker and easier.
And the color mixing looks really nice due to the fact that we're using some kind of a light pipe where the light is mixed inside the fixture already. So that gives you the freedom to design your set without having any colored shadows and so on and so on. So the big advantage is the light pipes we're using to mix the light already inside the fixture.
Okay, so if we look at a close-up once again, we'll just show you 3 very quick little looks. So you can see from these that building eye-catching looks is quite straightforward with that pixel control, the intensity chases, and those vibrant colors. Okay, and then additionally, embedded around the edges of those large RGBW cells, we position the 28 sparkle LEDs. So this is the second set of LEDs. So these are white LEDs, but they're optimized to be stunningly bright. So you can actually cut through or subtly work with the main LEDs. So if we have a close-up look again, we can start having a look at the sparkle LEDs. So again, it can start with 1, 2 pixels, very subtle chases. Or you can turn everything on and have these nice sort of pulsating looks.
And this feature is very new to the market. When we came up the first time with that idea, many lighting designers were quite impressed because they have now the flexibility to give everything a really special and personal look. So it allows you to create really stunning effects which have not been there before, because each LED can be controlled individually and they're bright enough to give already some sort of basic lighting. Each LED has 2 watts, and the nice color temperature of the white LED really looks great on camera, but also if you look right in front of it.
So as you can see, the sparkle LEDs can be used really slowly, twinkling very organically, or you can actually use them very aggressively, and you could even strobe them, of course. So that covers most of the LEDs. Okay, let's have a quick look at sparkle LEDs with the main LEDs as well. So if we can have a little close-up once again. So here you can see a nice blue with those sparkle LEDs kind of twinkling quite subtly, but yet cutting through to work with those main LEDs. And moving on, we can see an intensity chase on both sets of LEDs.
And this is an effect which was never there before, because now having those LEDs around each lens really makes it shiny and sparkling, and that is something very, very unique. And just imagine you have like 7x7 or 8x8 of those on a big stage, and you're using this effect. It really looks like a sky full of stars in a nice warm summer night. And this creative look is really stunning because you can really select it and design everything what you want.
Okay, and then finally, of course, we can get some movement happening. We can get a zoom chase going on, so you can start seeing how you build up these looks that really unlimited creativity for you. So now we're going to look at the physical and external aspects of the fixture. So as you can see, they're physically quite compact. So the Rayzor 760 on the right-hand side, close to Frederik, this comes in at a very trim 12 kilograms. And of course, it can be hung from a single clamp,
which we have right here for you. So we basically have those omega brackets, 2 of them, which can be easily locked to the bottom of the fixture. And then additionally, we deliver a bracket where you can connect those 2 omega brackets. And in the middle, you can use 1 trigger clamp to hang it. So often you come across the problem that you have not enough space on your truss, and it's kind of a hassle to mount it. But we thought about adding this bracket here for 1 single trigger clamp, and that solves a lot of issues because that really mounts the fixture wherever you need it and wherever you want to hang it.
Perfect. And of course, on my side, we have the Proteus unit. So the addition of that weatherized, rugged housing actually still keeps that at only 18 kilograms. So really compact, really lightweight. Now we'll have a look at some pan and tilt. So the unit has continuous 360-degree pan and tilt movement. So this allows very slow movements, but also blisteringly fast. But either way, the movement remains accurate and precise. So here's both working together at their fastest. Hopefully this doesn't make you too dizzy. Okay. So far we have talked quite generally about the Rayzor 760 series, but now we're going to focus a little bit more on the Proteus Rayzor 760. So here's a little video to show you.
The big advantage of the Proteus Rayzor 760 is quite obvious. You can see it right away. Water, sand, dust, snow, rain, whatever comes across your job or wherever you're using it, it doesn't matter. Even if it's snow, you can use it in the mountains or in a ski resort or wherever. It doesn't matter because there's a heating system built in which will heat up the entire unit. And you can just see it on the video. Even if it's completely dirty, that doesn't matter. Just clean it with water. Because the big advantage in this case is we have a closed capsule system. That means, I will walk over here, the Proteus Rayzor 760 is completely closed. No dust, no rain, no sand, no salt water, nothing can go inside. So cleaning is very, very easy nowadays. Just remember how many times you have been sitting in your warehouse or in your rental department and you were opening the base or the head just to remove all the sand and dust which you have inside, or dirt, or let's say any kind of liquids, or some smoke from a smoke machine, or whatever comes inside the unit. This doesn't exist anymore with this product. So you just take some water, you wash it off, and to be honest, we are prepared a little bit here. I have some water here in my mug. So cleaning is very, very easy. We can just clean it with water because nothing can go inside the unit. So this big advantage becomes very obvious if you think about a club, for example, because the unit is also beer-proof. Beer-proof means even if you have some beer which is spilled around in a club or on a festival, or nowadays in summer you have some nice outside concerts or events, people are spilling around their beer, it doesn't matter. This won't harm the unit. And also salt water is not an issue anymore. When you use it on a cruise ship or when it's close to the coast, it doesn't matter because the Proteus Rayzor 760, like all our other Proteus products, are marine coated. So salt water is not an issue anymore with those type of fixtures.
So one extra little thing we wanted to mention about the Proteus range, and this includes the Rayzor version, of course, is a little software innovation that we brought out called Sun Protection Mode. So a little background first. So external sources of light, which are focused towards the housing and lens of any fixture, it can penetrate the front lens and potentially cause severe damage to the internal components. So this damage can include gobos, cracked color flags, burning of lenses, prisms, almost anything. The reason why this would happen is if you think of it in reverse, so for an LED engine or something like this where it's individual LEDs or even a discharge lamp, imagine that beam coming from the source. It's like a shaft. It's very small, very thin. As soon as you start reaching the zoom lens, you get this array of lenses where that's being stepped up to create a very wide zoom that you would expect to see. So if you imagine that going in reverse, so imagine direct sunlight hitting this fixture outside, that acts like a magnifying glass that really concentrates that sunlight inside the fixture and can potentially cause all of this damage. So this issue is not specific to Elation. It's a common issue with lighting fixtures from all manufacturers. So this potentially affects thousands and thousands of products. But at Elation, we pioneered a software fix to address the issue. So this is Sun Protection Mode. So for example, these units could be exposed to direct sunlight at an outdoor music festival, for example. So during the day, the fixtures may not be used a lot, or even during the build-up of the festival. So it's particularly helpful for units that are on a stage floor, like this, for example, so they could be pointing up towards the sun by default. Or it could be an IP65 fixture, which typically wouldn't have a roof or a canopy over it in the first place. So the Proteus software works together with constant information from positioning sensors inside, so it always knows the orientation of the orientation and position of the head. So when you actually activate sun protection, the fixture will automatically pan and tilt to point the lens downwards and hence out of direct sunlight. So we're actually going to show you this right now. So there's a number of ways to activate. Oops. Here we go.
Yeah, well, and you might remember from your last drop at a concert or at a festival how many times the fixtures have been exposed to direct sunlight during the build-up or during the programming, or if you go on a coffee break and leave the fixtures unattended. This can cause a lot of damages, and I think most of you guys have already experienced that, which is not very nice when you are on a job and you're losing some fixtures due to that fact that sunlight will sort of burn them. But this is now solved, and this is what will happen if the unit detects too much heat from direct sunlight.
So I've activated this from the control channel of the fixture. So clearly it's put it in Sun Protection Mode. So you could have been up all night programming on a festival. You're going for some sleep in the morning. Do this. When you come back, all you have to do is take it out of Sun Protection Mode, and it will flip back to the last or the current DMX state, if you will.
So that's very, very easy. You can control it from your console, just one click, and all your units are safe. And we think this is quite a big benefit if you are on a festival or on an outdoor environment.
And of course, there's other ways it can be activated as well. So for example, if you lose DMX for whatever reason, the fixtures will automatically enter Sun Protection Mode after 3 minutes. Or alternatively, if the fixtures accidentally get powered up by mistake, maybe someone hit a distro switch, they will automatically go into Sun Protection Mode as soon as it's finished its initial homing or reset procedure. So I think that covers the Proteus element so far.
Absolutely. We believe that this is a great addition to anyone's rental inventory because that really solves a lot of issues which we have explained before. So the Proteus Rayzor 760 is certainly something you can use outdoor, but also indoor if you don't want to worry about any kind of smoke, cleaning, dust, beer, or whatever comes across at your venue or at your club or at your bar. So the Proteus Rayzor 760 really solves all those issues and makes the life a little bit easier for you. By the end of the day, you save a lot of time and you save a lot of money because cleaning is not necessary from the inside anymore. You just take some water and wash everything off, and that certainly saves a lot of time and by the end of the day, a lot of money.
So we hope to cover the entire Proteus range in more detail in future streaming events. But of course, at Elation, we feel like we're leading the industry with our IP65 sort of heritage and pedigree. So yep, let's move on and have a look at the effects generator or inbuilt effects engine that we have. So there may be designers and programmers out there that are excited to imagine the creative looks that they can get from scratch with the Rayzor's features, particularly with those two LED arrays. But I'm sure some users will want a helping hand to start achieving some eye-catching looks. So for this, we built an inbuilt effects generator within the fixture. So these are basically preset pixel patterns for either set of the LEDs, and they offer static or dynamic behavior. There's actually over 200 of them in your console, in the software, ready to go. But we also give you direction control over that as well. They can go forward, back. You can even bounce some of them. We also give you variable speed control, so things can look very subtle or very aggressive. And there's even multiple options to choose paths or curves, which give you either a very smooth FX performance or you can have it very steppy. So there's really a lot of options, and all of these can be selected and implemented from your DMX console within seconds.
With the big advantage that you save a lot of DMX channels while programming. By the end of the day, when you have a lot of pixel mapped fixtures, you sometimes have to worry about the amount of DMX channels. In this case, with the built-in macros we have, we really brought it down to a very, very low amount of DMX channels, so you can really easy go through all the features and save a lot of time programming and a lot of time of also patching the fixtures, and yeah, you just have less DMX channels.
And also, you're obviously going to have more than one Rayzor in your rig, so we actually have a sync channel within that effects engine as well. So this allows you to offset fixtures or even randomize the fixtures or randomize the actual FX steps themselves. So in a previous video we showed you a few moments ago, you could actually see a matrix that we created of the Rayzors. So that footage actually used this inbuilt FX generator and used offsets to achieve these sort of flowing, dynamic, pulsating looks. So let's have a look at a few examples. So firstly, on the main LEDs, for example, this is just a very simple columns moving from right to left. So these are intensity chases, so of course you could still add your own colors on top of this. The next one is the classic rotating bar. And of course, I've put a decent speed on this just so you can see it for today's purposes, but this could move a lot slower or even a lot faster.
And this particular design or effect gives you the look of an LED bar. So just in case you don't have any LED bars on your rig, you can still use the Rayzor or the Proteus Rayzor 760 to make that kind of LED bar look. And it perfectly looks nice to the little brother of it, the Rayzor 360, because we're using the same LEDs and the same lens inside. So even if you use both fixtures together at the same time, they really, really work quite nice together because they have the same look.
And finally, on the intensity chases, here's a ring center fade. So again, I think this looks really good. It's a little speeded up for today's purposes. And then moving forward for the color options. So this is a simple RGBW sort of chase. And then, of course, we can add in similar, but adding CMY. So you really start to see some lovely pastels that the fixture can create. And then we also can put that into rows, as you see. And then finally, Just a very simple sort of white-green chase, but there's like I say, there's literally hundreds of effects in here that you can call up at leisure. And then, of course, we can look at the sparkle LED version. So again, this is just an effect we can call up. It's just a single row moving from top to bottom.
So those simple effects can be triggered within a few seconds. So even if you have like a corporate event, or if you have like a wedding or whatever it is, you can within a few seconds and really without any efforts, you can easily select those macros and your background looks quite nice and the show is prepared.
And this little look is sort of a center out, sort of pulsating out. So again, you can see it's sort of pulsating. It's really nice and subtle and gentle. And then finally, just another pixel ring chase going from pixel to its neighbor. So like you would expect, the best way to see the power of this engine is to get hold of a fixture, have a demo, have a play, and see if it can inspire your creativity. And then finally, just a look to show you everything working together. So this is a rather vibrant sort of sparkle LED effect, plus that RGB CMY as well.
And that little strobe effect you can see on the sparkle LED always reminds me a little bit on the Eiffel Tower. Every time you look at the Eiffel Tower, you have this nice sparkle effect. Well, we have it in a little bit smaller version here, but it looks quite nice if you have a bunch of them in the back of your truss or in a rig. And this sparkle or strobe effect is just stunning to watch it.
Okay, I can't see any questions coming in, guys, but feel free to add them. And in the meantime, we'll talk briefly about some control and software functionality in the units. So in addition to DMX, the units offer RDM, ArtNet, and streaming SEN protocols, just to give you a little bit more flexibility with control. So for example, the Proteus has IP-rated Ethernet, RJ45 Ethernet connectors in and out. And in addition, we've got some of the other software features you've probably come to expect from Elation. So these can all be implemented from your DMX console in seconds. So we have different options of fan modes for certain environments or applications. We've got dimming modes for certain theater, TV, architectural, etc. We also have dimming curves with dimmer delay times where you can effectively create a custom dimming curve for yourself. And also changeable LED rates. So I think we're reaching the end for today. I can't see any questions, guys. But if you need more information on the Rayzors, please go to elationlighting.eu or give your local dealer or distributor a call. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you at these difficult times. If you make sure your units are up to date with software, if you already own the Rayzor, so go to software.elationlighting.eu. And yeah, I think that just about wraps it up for today. So thank you for joining us. Be safe, be well.
Thank you so much for having another coffee with us and maybe some cookies. Let's see what comes up the next Elation coffee break. Leave us a comment what you would like to know, what you would like to see, or whatever you want us to talk about. And thank you so much for joining us, and see you hopefully very, very soon.
Okay, bye guys.